what was your biggest takeaway from the CM Punk interview?
Man, so many things to dive into here. I guess the thing that I walked away being more intrigued about is what actually happened at Brawlout, because he talked about what happened in London, right? There's no NDA there, but there is an NDA, and he is saying that he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't sign an NDA for anything that he did wrong. So it just becomes more intriguing of, okay, what actually happened at Brawlout? Are we actually ever going to hear anybody talk about it? I don't know if Jack Perry or Samoa Joe or Tony Khan, or if anybody else is going to give their side of things of what went down backstage at All In London this year. But right now, we don't have really any firsthand accounts of what happened at Brawlout. And he hinted that the injury happened during that fight. Although I'm pretty sure in the press conference, he said he had to get his arm fixed.
He confirmed Larry was a part of it. So we got that confirmation.
So I guess I walked away still being very intrigued of, okay, what the hell happened at Brawlout between him and the Young Bucks? But the other stuff was fascinating. And again, with some of it with Phil, you always have to take it with a grain of salt, right? Because this is not the first time that he's given a grievance-laced interview after he's left a company. The last one left him, ended up breaking up a friendship after he appeared on Colt Cabana's podcast. But I thought it was really enlightening. I thought it was a good look into the way he looks at things right now in the world of professional wrestling.
Gabe, and by the way, Gabe, all the things that you just talked about there, what happened at Brawlout, what's happened with Thunder Rosa, allegedly, that's going on with Dr. Britt Baker, all these things. None of these personal issues draw any money. Not one dime. Not one dime. All these things, it's kind of like, and even with Brett and Sean, even with Hogan and Savage in the past, like, okay, we know you guys don't like each other. Let's put it in the ring. Let's just see what happens, right? Because people know what's going on. So let's put that combustible element in the ring so we can make money from this. None of this stuff makes money. My takeaway from this, and the biggest headline for me, Brian, is Tony Khan is not a boss. That's the headline. Yeah. But Gabe is right that even though Punk talks with conviction, speaks with profundity, hour 50 minutes, and he's laying it out there and people eating it up like, yep, that's what I thought. I think that the number one headline is Tony Khan's a nice guy, good, but just not a boss. Mm-hmm. I can actually see, and I will agree with Punk, and a lot of stuff I disagree with or don't believe, but some I do. What happened in Wembley, where Punk says, "What's up with this Jack Perry? This guy wants to use glass. This guy's in my face. You need to talk to Jack Perry." And Tony Khan says, "What do you want me to do?" Right. I believe that happened because Tony Khan wants to get along. What Tony Khan wants to do is he wants to be able to put together super cards, and he wants everybody to get along and everybody to, be able to be, kumbaya in AEW. And that's not how business works. You have to be able to put your foot down on some difficult situations. It doesn't have to always be drama, but the things that are drama, you have to be able to take care of. And when I heard Punk say he's not really a boss, and then on top of that, he doubles down and says, "I don't know what AEW's business model is," that says a lot.
Yeah, but it's so hard with Punk, and Michael Sidwick of What Culture tweeted this, and I feel like it's a perfect summary of Punk. Punk is uncannily good at presenting his side of things and appearing reasonable when you know for a fact some of what he says is BS. It's an art. I always say he can tell you the earth is flat, and after a few minutes, that's what he is. Everything he's saying, you're like, oh, yeah, this is right. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. How come it's always the other person that's the asshole in this situation? It's never Punk. There's that aspect of it.
My favorite part is when he's going over what happened in London, and he's like, I thought I did the reasonable thing. I didn't hit anybody. Right. Okay, well, again, because he's saying it all calm, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe that's. It's like, wait a minute. If I break this down, and you're like, well, I just, you choked a coworker. Yeah. What are we talking about here, man? That's not acceptable either.
Yes.
It's not like you're completely innocent and, oh yeah, my hands are washed of this thing.